Thank you so much for the recitement, everyone. We'll go straight to invite our speaker for the day.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Please let me be sure that you can hear me. Can we just unmute our mic and let me hear our voices so that I can know that you can hear me.
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Great. Thank you. So a pleasant evening to us. I'm super excited to be in class today. So we'll be looking at the basics of real estate. And so I want this class to be as interactive as possible, so we can be on the same page. So I want us to first of all look at what is real estate. You know, it has become a very popular. Please, can you allow me to just on my camera? I think that will make us. Moment, please. Yes, I prefer talking so that we can get to, at least that will get our attention. So please, I want to appreciate everyone that has turned into class today. And I really want you to really pay attention to these few moments. And it's going to be a life-changing moment, and you're going to learn a lot. So we're going to look at basically what is real estate. Yeah, many people, it's a very common word that many people are aware of it. So what does it mean? Basically, real estate refers to land and any structure that is permanently attached to it. It could be a building, or it could be natural resources like rocks, minerals, water, and mountains. Anything that is on that land, that is permanently on that land, that's what the word real estate refers to. And it goes beyond that to also suggest the ownership rights associated with these properties. So not just the land, and all the other structure and natural resources that are on the land, but also the right to the land, the right to the ownership of the land. So basically, that's what real estate is all about. And it's a very broad sector, because there are several types of real estate. We have majorly 5 types of real estate. We have the land flipping, we have the residential, we have the commercial, we have the industrial, and we have the special use. So let me just take a little moment and explain. So please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. I can hear you here.
All right. So there are like 5 basic. There are 5 basic types of real estate. One is the land itself. Basically, there is what is called subdivision, where you have a large land, probably in hectares, and then you subdivide it into plots, 50 by 100, 100 by 100. Do some things on the land to raise the value of the land and sell it to people. So that also is another form of real estate. Unfortunately, many people think that land flipping is not real estate. They believe that real estate, it has to be structures. You have to be building structures. You have to be building houses for it to be real estate. But unfortunately, that's not the case. The land itself is a real estate. So the basic one that which is very common here in Nigeria is the land flipping, where you buy a land, you subdivide it, and you sell it to people. Then we have the residential. This is basically where you build those houses and sell it purposely for residential purposes. which is also common in Nigeria. We have the commercial. The commercial has to do with building office premises, commercial events, places for commercial events like seminars, conferences. All these falls within the commercial real estate. Then we have the industrial. Sorry, am I fast?
You're not fast, you're okay.
All right. So then we have the industrial. I was in Lagos for a conference last year, and there's this company that they're actually doing an amazing work. So there's this site, they have a very vast land. So they decided to do an industrial kind of real estate, in a sense that they are selling the land, not purposely for the purpose of building the land, but the land is very, very fertile. So they are selling the land for the purpose of plantation. These are palm kernel plantation, basically. So it's not to build structure. The vast land has been well structured. We have the plantation site within that particular vast land. They have a section for commercial, for growing these palm trees, and they also have a processing plant within that estate where this farm produce will be collected and processed within the same settings. And they also have the industrial side where this processed palm kernel can be worked upon to a finished product. And they also have a provision for residential, obviously for the workers that will be working in that plantation. So basically, that's not a regular type of real estate where you build houses, but they are taking advantage of the vast land and the fertile nature of the land to do real estate. And several people are buying hectares within this facility. So this also falls within the industrial real estate. And then we have the special use. This has to do with, there are properties, even from their nature, you cannot use it for, the reason why it's called a special use kind of real estate is because it cannot be easily transformed into another form of business. Take, for instance, if you built a hospital and it's very difficult for you to convert that hospital, let's say to a school, let's say to a hostel. It is going to be very difficult. The reason being that the nature of the building is for a specific use. And a good example also, like a factory, for instance. So if you build a factory and for any reason, for whatsoever reason you want to sell, it's difficult for the person buying to do something different from what you're already doing there because of the nature of the structure. So that structure itself will not allow you to do whatever you want to do. So it's actually built for a specific purpose. So these are the major kinds, types of real estate. We have the land flipping, we have the residential, where you build houses for people, and we have the commercial, we have the industrial, and we have the special use. So what are the importance of real estate? Real estate has tremendous importance, and it's beneficial. Its benefit is it's something that we cannot fully exhaust, but I'll just talk on the few most obvious importance of real estate. One is inflation hedge. Inflation hedge. That hedge is HEDGE. Hedge, it like a cover for inflation. So the truth is there is no single business that is immune to inflation. Inflation affects every kind of business that you can think of. But the good thing about the real estate business, it gives you an opportunity it serve as a buffer or a cushion to inflation. It will not eliminate inflation, but it will reduce significantly the impact of inflation. Let me give you a very typical example. There is a site here in Yola, which is popularly called Ring Road, Jankasa. So as of 2016, we were selling a hectare, that's about 10,000 for 150,000. Right. So, and I believe at that time the exchange rate to a dollar is around 170. They're about 170 naira. So, if you do the conversion of that 400,000 or 450,000 to dollars, it's just a little above $2,000. Okay. So, but as of now, presently, 2025, a hectare there goes for around 30 million naira. Now, so imagine if I carry this 400,000 and I kept it in a bank. Obviously, the interest that is going to accrue on that amount will be very, very minimal. And when you look at the value of 400,000 in 2016 and the value of 400,000 in 2025, you realize that you have not made money. It's a loss completely. Putting your money in the bank is a loss. So what does real estate do for you? So currently now a hectare there is sold for 30 million naira. When you do the math, it's almost around $20,000. So you see that's a lot. That's a significant, at least it has stored the value of your investment. So one of the things that real estate does, it serves as a hedge to inflation. Let me tell you the truth. If the fact that you buy a land 2 million naira last year and you sold it maybe last 2 years and you sold it for 5 million naira, you are not making profit typically. Before you can even count your profit, you have to look at taxes and inflation. What is the impact of inflation on that your 5 million naira? What's the worth of that 2.5 million that you bought a land 2 years ago? What is its value now? You realize that in some instances you have not made profit, but it offers, real estate offers you an opportunity to act as a buffer against inflation. There are properties where you can buy and you realize that within a year you're making like 200% return on investment. So it serves as a hedge for inflation. Secondly, leverage. A lot of you are aware that one of the easiest way to get money from the bank is when you have a leverage, and the land is one of the suitable assets that you can use to get money from the bank. So imagine if I have a land of that has a C of O and it's in Dugiri. I can be able, even if I don't have cash, I can take the documents to the bank and get cash from the bank. So it's leverage. And then also it gives significant return on investment. I also highlighted about it while I was talking about a hedge on inflation. It gives you significant return on investment. Let me tell you something, and I'll give you a typical example. There's one of the things that we do in Homekey, particularly as a business, is we look for lands that have prospects. We look for lands that have that are not really developed at the present, but has the potential for growth and has a potential of development. And by virtue of what we do, we have access to relevant government authorities to check what the government wants to do in each of the sites that we have interest. So we look at those lands, we look at what the government wants to do around that area, we look at the prospect that that land offers, and when we buy lands in those locations, we don't just buy and sell, we raise the value of the land. We work on the land, we improve the value of the land before selling it to the public. So what does that means is, I give you a typical example. There's one of our sites where this was like 3 years ago. It's one of our sites in Dogire. Dogire is an area, if you're conversant with Yola here, it's an area just close to, it's an area where the government house, the seat of government is. So we had this land, and when we acquired that land, I am assuring you, if I take you to that land, you're not going to buy the land. It was just rocks. And unfortunately, I will have shown you the picture, but it's not readily available now. You wouldn't buy the land, but we bought this land and we raised the value of the land. When we started, the land went for 3.5 million. That's for 50 by 100, and for 100 by 100, 6.5 million. Okay, so, and it is sold very, very fast. In less than a year, a client that bought a property from us for 6.5 million sold this land for almost 20 million naira. In fact, because I was actually in the picture, someone came and offered 20 million naira to buy the land in less than a year. Imagine, there is no business that you can do. There are very, very few businesses that you can commit your resources, and in 8 months, in 9 months precisely, you're getting about almost 4 times of your investment. So this is something that the real estate space, real estate business offers to you. It has several importance that you can actually leverage on to build wealth. Lastly, on this, so that I don't take time, is it serves as a very good retirement plan. Now, unfortunately, in Africa, we retire because we are old. You work for 35 years. When the government realizes that at that time you are not efficient, then they will say, okay, thank you for your service. This is your pension. This is your gratuity. Go and rest. And you realize that for most people, they are really scared of retiring because at that time they realize that they have not planned for retirement. Let me give you, I like to give examples so that we can easily relate with what I'm saying. There's someone that I know of in Yola here. He has about over 150 hectares of land that he purchased during Yako's administration in Adamawa State. Now, he spent less than 5 million naira to buy that over 153 hectares. Now, at the moment now, a hectare in that area, you can't get it for less than 8 million naira. So imagine how much profit he's going to make now. Do you know that even if this guy quits work and is not doing anything, he has investments on ground that he will feed and live on for the rest of his life? You know, unfortunately, one of the misconceptions that we have is we just feel because I have 1 or 2, 5 plots, I just feel comfortable with what I have. You fail to realize that you're not investing just for now, you're building wealth. You're making provision for years to come. So real estate offers you that opportunity. And If you are with me, say I am, just type on the comment section. I can hear you. I can hear you, so that I will know that you're following up. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at documentations with regards to the real estate land ownership in Nigeria. So there are very important things you need to know about real estate. One is the Land Use Act of 1978. The Land Use Act of 1978 has vested all lands into the hands of the state government. So all the lands in Nigeria belongs to the state government. That is why the government only gives you rights and certificate of occupancy. They are not giving you ownership of the land. They are only giving you the right to use and develop the land. That's why you even pay ground rent. Yes. So in the typical sense, you have to realize that all lands belong to the state government. They are holding the land in trust for the people. So there are several ways you can own a land. In Nigeria, the word owning the land is not synonymous to possessing the land. The fact that the land is with you, it's your own land, but it belongs to the government. That is why if they are giving you a government document, there is a tenure for having the land. After 99 years, the land reverts back to the government. So you have to know that there are several ways you can acquire. The land doesn't belong to the local government. It doesn't belong to the federal government. The land power is vested solely in the state government. So what that means is there are several ways you can own a land. You can own a land by inheritance. You can own a land by lease. You can own a land by renting. You can own a land by purchase. But you have to, this is what you need to know. There are traditional custodians of the land, like the district head, ward head, village head. They have powers to the local land. But even their powers is subject to the state government. But they are also in custody of lands. There are lands that are under the emirate. There are lands that are under traditional council. So when you buy a land from the traditional council, the good thing you're supposed to do is to also process a document with the state government, obtain a right of occupancy, and process a certificate of occupancy. Like I told you, the right of occupancy doesn't mean that the land belongs to you in the sense that you own the land. What that means is that the government has given you the power and the right to use and to develop the land. So you have to ensure that you get the relevant, there are several documents for lands. We have the basic for purchasing lands now, since that's what that's one of the easiest way to own a land is by purchase. So there is a document called sales agreement. So the sales agreement is or it is usually called the contract of sale. Usually it carries, this document is a legal document that carries all the terms and conditions for the sale of a land. Is a legal document that contains the terms and conditions for the purchase of a land. It contains the title of the land. It contains the amount that the seller is selling the land. And it also contains the mode of payment. And it also contains the conditions. If you look at, so these are the basic things that should be contained in a sales agreement. So it's basically a contract of sale. Then you have the deed of assignment. Now, the deed of assignment is a legal document that transfers ownership. Okay, so particularly this is very, very important when you have a government-approved document. Let's say you have a right of occupancy. Right of occupancy is a document that is issued by the State Ministry of Land and Survey, giving you the right to use and to develop the land. Then after you have obtained the right of occupancy, you can also apply for certificate of occupancy. The right of occupancy is signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Land and Survey, and the Commissioner, Ministry of Land and Survey, while the CFO, which is Certificate of Occupancy, is signed by the Governor. Remember, I told you that all lands is in the hands of the state government, and precisely it's in the hand of the Governor. He holds all lands in trust for the people. That's why CFO is issued by the Governor. This is the highest document that you can obtain in the state government. So when you obtain this document, so we are talking about deed of assignment. So when you obtain let's say a grant or a CFO, and you sold the land to somebody, it's important for you to do a deed of assignment. The deed of assignment is conveying the title of the land from you, the seller, to the buyer. And in legal terms, you are the assignor, and the person who purchases it from you is the assignee. So there's a difference between sales agreement and a deed of assignment. Deed of assignment, sales agreement you can just do it for any land. You can go for even a customary land that you obtain from a district head, village head, and whatsoever. But if you want to do a very thorough work, and you have, and this has to do with a certified document, a land that has a certified document from the Land and Survey, it's advisable that you get a deed of assignment, so that it will protect you, and it also will reflect in Land and Survey that the land has been sold from this person to this person. So when you go to apply for what do you call it? When you go to apply for search in Land and Survey, they give you a history of the land. Who is the first title holder of the land? They sold it to this person, to this person, to this person. That will help you trace the root of the land that you want to buy. So basically, these are the documents you need to know with regards to real estate space in real estate in Nigeria. And one more thing, you realize that in Nigeria alone, do you know that in Nigeria alone, the estimated projection of the real estate market capital for 2025 is around $2.6 trillion. That's a very humongous amount, $2.6 trillion. And the market capital just for residential real estate is around $2.2 trillion. In Nigeria, we usually specialize in three things: land flipping, commercial, and residential. And the residential alone has about $2.2 trillion. So that's a lot of money in circulation. And that brings me to the last thing I want to talk about before probably we take questions. Who can benefit from real estate in Nigeria? So is it the realtors, is it the agents, or anybody that can, or anybody? The truth is, anybody can make money from real estate, depending on which avenues he wants to. There are several avenues in the real estate. There are several opportunities. All you need to do is to spot those opportunities and to take advantage of those opportunities, either by being a realtor, either by being an agent. There are some people that came, that some of them, they had jobs that they were doing, not as if they were working with the company, but they were agents of the company, and some of them have made a lot of sales. And I remember I was in Abuja some years ago, and we are told about a guy who from January to June, about 6 months, made 120 million naira on commission, just commissions. So it gives opportunity for everybody to make money in real estate. You don't need to be an expert. All you need to do is to spot opportunities. You can be an agent, you can be a realtor, you can be an investor. There are some people that they come to real estate company and say, okay, I don't want to be bothered with all the nitty-gritties of real estate. This is the amount that I want to invest, and I'm investing this for so amount. What would be my profit? What would be my dividends? What would be my return on investment? And they are making a lot of money. So you can make money by being an investor, you can make money by being a realtor, you can make money by being an agent. The opportunity is so much available. There are people even here in Yola office that we trained, and some of them have made a lot of money, which I don't want to disclose on a platform like this. But what I'm saying in essence is there are a lot of opportunities, whether you are a market woman, whether you are a barber, whether you are a tailor, whatever you're doing. If information is very powerful, there are just the fact that you know somebody who is interested in buying a land and you connect the person to the right company, you're going to make money. There are a lot of people that have made so much money on commissions. So everybody can take advantage of the opportunities that are in the real estate space and make a lot of money. So I think I will stop here. There are a lot of things I would have loved to share, but I'll just stop here. I think we're almost to our time, and probably we'll take questions. Thank you so much, Danladi, Paul, and all the team that are hosting this class. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time and insight. We really appreciate. May God bless you richly, sir. So
Amen.
Please, if you have a question, please, you can drop it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand so that we can permit you to ask your question. Our mentor is readily available to answer all our questions. Thank you.
Okay, so my question is that, number one, when you are buying a land from the traditional from the local area, like the traditional council or maybe village head, like you said, and you are given a document which is the let's say a sales agreement. Okay, so is it possible for you to process that particular document to modify it or to advance it to a kind of deed assignment or deed of assignment and all that? Okay, so that's number one question. Then number two is that what are the challenges or what are the hidden risks behind buying a land from these particular people, like the traditional people or the village head people? What are the hidden risks? Okay, so that's my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Larry, for the question. Okay, let me first answer your first question. Yes, it's very possible. And in fact, that is what you should do. When you buy a land from the traditional council, you need to go to land and survey, depending on which state you are, because different states have their own different ways. But you can take that document that they gave you, provided they sign on it. Unfortunately, what some people do is when they buy lands from this traditional council, they don't ensure that all the relevant people sign. You need the village head to sign, you need the ward head to sign, and you need the district head to sign. Then when all these three key positions and offices have signed, then you go to Ministry of Land and Survey, then you pick a form. Like typically in Yola here, there's what we call land 10B and land 1. You pick this form, you fill it, you return it to the district head, ward head, village head, they will sign on it. Then you bring it back, a surveyor will go and survey the land, capture it, and process a grant for you. So it's called conversion. When you're buying a land that is not a government layout, when you're buying from the traditional council and you purchase and you obtain a sales agreement and you later process a grant, it's called conversion. You've converted it from the traditional council title to the state government right of occupancy. Then to answer your second question, the challenge with buying lands from a traditional council is enormous. The truth is, most of them, they are not really straightforward. You realize that you bought lands, you can buy land from a traditional ruler and he will sell that same land to like 5 other persons. That's one. Secondly, because it's not a government layout, usually they have a very poor plan. You realize that you have a land, but you don't have road to your house. And even if you have a road, you have a very tiny road. They didn't envisage that somebody that will buy that land will eventually buy a car. So they are thinking based on their own limited limited understanding of life. So you buy a land, but you realize that you are inconvenienced. You don't have good road to your land. The road is very small, and so many issues attached to it. So my advice is, if you're buying a land with a traditional council, buy a vast land, then quickly go to Land and Survey and obtain a relevant document. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful response. Okay, I can see question. You can go on and ask your question, or you can write it in the chat box.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the well articulated class. My name is Moko Ikichiku. I'm from Abuja. I want to ask a question pertaining to land acquisition in places, for example, like Abuja, where almost everywhere already has a master plan, and you are getting land from locals, and you know that there will be no possibility of conversions. For example, you can't convert land. It's very difficult for you to go and get land from the traditional heads in Abuja and convert them. So in such a situation, is it advisable for you to go ahead, or you just remain with allocated land?
Okay, thank you for that question. Yeah, Abuja has its own complexities, but it's difficult, but it's possible. There are people that were able to get local lands, and they were able to process FCD approvals for those local lands. You know how Nigeria is. Sometimes it requires several hands to go under the table, and which is unfortunate, truly. So, but my advice is, work based on your terrain. If you know that it's going to be very difficult for you to obtain the FCDA approvals, it's better you go for lands that already have FCDA approvals and government layouts, to avoid regrets. Because you buy those lands, and let's say you buy AMAC land and you want to process the FCDA, and not even, you realize that the process is, if you have connections, it's very easy, but if you don't have connections, it's very difficult. So you just count your, just look at the situation and go for, my best advice for you is just go for the allocated lands. It's better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this. please, I will give chance for just one more person to ask questions so that we can round up. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask, or you can write it in the chat box. Thank you. Just one more person so that we can finish in time. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's the name? What's your question?
If there is no any question, I would love us to react in appreciation to our
I think Victor should go ahead with your question.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Victor and I'm from Yola.
Okay.
I'm just joining today. I missed the class yesterday. Sorry about that. I don't know if there's a saved video for the classes so that I can go back to it and watch and see and learn from it. And the schedule of the classes as well.
Okay, I think Danladi Paul, you will respond to that one. The recording is available, right?
Yes, is available. And for the schedule of the classes, we used to post the update on our official WhatsApp group. So if you are not on the group, you can chat me up. I'll add you up. If you are there, you always get the update for the classes there. Thank you, Mr. Victor.
Thank you very much. And for the review of the classes, the past classes that you had yesterday.
Okay, no problem. Yes, it was recorded.
So how can I access it, sir?
Yes, after the class, you can DM me.
Okay,
I'm an admin on the official WhatsApp group. You sit and like the Paul.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the initiative you brought.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear you, sir. We can hear you,
Hello?
sir. You can go on. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So sorry, I have a last question here. Sorry. All right. So my question is that someone wants to invest in my land, an investor, and is asking me if I can predict the appreciation, if I'm using the right word, for the land that is investing in or into, if I can be able to predict what would be the rate at which the land will appreciate in value. All right. So
yeah.
I don't know if there is a answer to that. If it was something that we can predict, because most times some persons wants to know if it is worthwhile to actually put money into land banking or to invest in land, if we can be able to predict how much is going to earn. So I don't know if you get my question correctly. I'm just a new person in real estate, so.
Okay. I think I think I get what you're saying. You are saying that somebody wants to buy your land, and he wants you to tell him what is the projection of the return on investment for the land, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. So what I will there are factors that determine the prices of and the prospect of return on investment. One, location. If you're conversant with Yola, let me give you an instance. If you're buying a land, let's say in Jambutu, which is like a middle class area, and when you're buying a land in 80 units, which is like Maitama and Asokoro in Abuja, you realize that the return on investment in Dogire or 80 unit is more higher than the one in Jambutu. So first of all, you have to consider the location. The location, to a large extent, determines the value of the land. And secondly, what is the prevailing market price of lands in that area? Because obviously, like I said, the area of the land affects the price of the land. So if somebody wants to buy a land from you, you have a land there, but it's not only you that has a land there. Other people have lands there. So what is the prevailing market price? How much is their land worth? How much are their land worth? How much are they selling? It may not really mean that because somebody is selling his land 2 million naira, you're going to sell your own 2 million naira. The third thing also that will determine the value of appreciation of the land is what you do on the land. Did you do anything to raise the value of the land? You can have same land in same location. One will be sold for 50 million naira and the other will be sold for 1.5 million naira. So our GMD was telling us a scenario in Abuja where I think somewhere in Nigeria, I can't really, a land where somebody is selling his land, probably let's say a plot like 8 million. On that same place, somebody is selling his land about 500 million. Because the guy who is selling his own 500 million, he built a helipad within his layout so that he envisions that the people that can buy land in his estate can have planes, have helicopters that can land on it. If you have a land there and you know you don't have such kind of clients, you can't put those amounts. They will not buy. He's selling a vision. He's selling a dream to his clients. And the other person who is next to him is just selling land. So these three things: location, and what is the prevailing market price, and what value have you added on the land. Those are the factors that you have to look at in order to determine the prospect of the return on investment of your property. And then secondly, if you don't have these indices, look for a professional so that he can advise you on what would be the prevailing market price of your property.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You've really done justice to all the questions, and it's really insightful. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we'll draw conclusion on the questions so that we can go to the next thing in line. So let's just have some appreciation in the comment section for our mentor, or a reaction